Hi guys, while we can be frustrated with some of the policies that Starmer and his party seem to be presenting for a future Labour government, it can also be painful to hear shadow ministers responding to questions about Brexit. I do think that a future Labour government will be head and shoulders above the current shower, and we can see this in how they conduct themselves in interviews. Here Bridget Philipson didn't take the brexiteer xenophobic bait from GB News when it came to asylum seekers eventually working. The framing of the question was ridiculous, but Bridget did a wonderful job in dealing with it. Have a listen.
Cozying up to the EU and guaranteeing more cheap labour for Britain. This sounds like a backdoor Brexit.
Okay, what he's referring to here is the Labour Party saying that they would try to work with the European countries to agree a returns policy for failed asylum seekers. This has nothing to do with Brexit.
No, we do need a returns agreement. That's part of the problem that we've got at the moment, that we don't. So we absolutely need to negotiate that deal and get a deal around returns. Where it comes to decisions being taken, people are waiting a very, very long time at the moment for decisions to be taken where it comes to asylum claims. Now, for those who have a genuine case to remain in the UK, that's unfair because we should be processing those cases quickly. Many have been through incredible trauma and terrible events in their lives. And for those who don't have a right to be here, we need decisions quickly so that we can make sure that people are returned to their home country or to the third country from which they may have come. Bridget. So it's all about having a fairer system that deals with cases quickly. I've seen lots of cases as a Member of Parliament where you're talking about people waiting years even to get an interview, to have their case heard and to have it dealt with. I think that is just not sustainable.
Yeah. Bridget, I just want to push you on that point. You've made it clear that fast-tracking the asylum process is a policy. I want to push you on this point, though. Ensuring genuine refugees can contribute to Britain, that means work visas for asylum seekers, doesn't it? Is that something you'd support?
It's a stupid question. Work visas for asylum seekers, they wouldn't be asylum seekers. They would make an asylum claim. If it's successful, then they're no longer an asylum seeker. They move on to refugee status. If they are unsuccessful, they're deported. So it wouldn't be a work visa for an asylum seeker. It's a nonsensical question.
Well, once people have had their case determined and it's clear that they have a right to be in this country, then yes, they will have the opportunity to work and to play a full part in our society. Many people who've been through that process have got a lot of skills and a lot that they could offer our country. At the moment, they're languishing in hotels, in unsuitable accommodation, and it's years, it's costing us all a fortune as a country because of the government's total failure to process cases quickly and effectively. It's not fair for those people who are waiting for cases to be heard, and it's not fair for the rest of the country either.
Well said. Wonderful. It shows the ability of these Labour MPs to deal with these questions. You compare this with the Tories, who would be like blaming everyone else, blaming, oh no, it's nothing to do with us, it's nothing to do with us, it's the EU, it's the asylum seekers, it's the lefty lawyers, it's the charities, whatever. She took the question, she answered it perfectly. And she's correct, because you have asylum seekers who've been waiting years for their claim to be processed. In some cases, they haven't had an interview even. And they want to work. They want to contribute to society. And the guy who is hosting the show is a Brexiteer. And he said, well, we're going to have these people doing low-paid work. Okay. But there's nobody doing the work at the moment, or not enough people doing the work at the moment. There's a labour shortage. It makes perfect sense that if you have people who have skills, who want to work, well, then let them work. The reason the Tories don't want asylum seekers or refugees working is because it's part of the toxic environment under Theresa May. When she brought it in, it was like, let's stop asylum seekers and refugees from working, because they're seen as stealing British jobs. Now, that rhetoric worked back in 2015 or 2012 or whenever it was introduced, but it doesn't work today because there are post-Brexit labour shortages. And it makes zero sense for people who have skills to be sitting in a hotel, not allowed to work. So, of course, when these people have their claim processed, and they are successful, they'll move on to the next stage, and then they'll be able to work eventually. But you need to process the claims, And that's what the Labour Party are planning to do, or promising to do. They said that they're going to bring down the backlog in 6 months. The Tories are sort of saying about, yeah, we might bring down the backlog, but we better not bring it down too much, because then it's no longer a deterrent. A long backlog is a deterrent. Like, the Tories are trying to sell this idea that to the asylum seekers, you're going to have to wait years for your claim to be processed, and during that wait, you're going to be put up in a hotel. But the racists and bigots are saying, why are we putting people up in hotels? You're giving them luxury apartments or hotels to live in. This is a disgrace. So the Tories are trying to present a lack of a processing of claims as a deterrent, but at the same time saying, well, we need to move people out of hotels and onto barges or something like that. So I think this was not a very difficult question to respond to, but it was well handled by Bridget. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.